Great. All right, standing tall, let's climb. So we're getting this movement into the hips and stretch up the whole of the body. I'm grabbing with my hand, working into the wrist, side to side. Any bend in the knee to get more of a stretch down the side of the body. Nice big movement through the fingers, through the wrist. So on 2 days ago, we did kind of based on series A, Surya Namaskara. Yesterday, you had a break. So now we'll have a series based on the series B. So it will be the Uttanasana, but instead of just adding a warrior one, we'll take a warrior one and a peaceful warrior. Anyway, shrug out the shoulders, interlace the fingers, let's mobilize the spine, knees bent, softening, chin to chest. So working into the neck and the upper back, reaching through side to side, letting the head drop side to side, arms swaying side to side, feeling a nice stretch in the upper back. Taking a bit lower by bending the knees, maybe looking under one armpit and then the other. And then rolling up through the spine, rolling the shoulders back and down, clasping the hands, chest wide open. If it's comfortable to you, drop the head back, jaw soft, and massage the back of the neck there by lifting the shoulders up to the ears. The chest are wide open. Lovely. All right, shrug out the shoulders. We're taking a pyramid stance. Let's step the right foot forwards, toes pretty much pointing forwards, hips square to the front. We're going to incorporate a forward fold with a shoulder roll. So let's start by peeling the shoulders back. So palms come forwards, shoulders nicely back. And we're coming into a forward fold. Try closing the ribs, lifting the tummy bottom back to the spine. So really strong here. Once we come into our forward fold, hands can swoop down in parallel and as if gathering the upper body on their way, stretching forwards and uplifting the upper body. At the top, soften shoulders back and down. Give me 4 more of those. Hips are square. Here we can reset. Hip flexor stretch here before we fold. So let's keep the glutes working, legs straight, long spine here. Long line from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. Hands come forward, reach all the way up. Deep breath in, maybe a little back bend here. Soften the shoulders, elbows in towards the waist. Reset. Keep going. Continuous movement. No forcing. Just going for repetition rather than straining. Getting the heart rate up a little bit. Let's go for 1 more on this side, and then I'm going to wake up your core a little bit with a balance in preparation for an eagle. So the front knee is going to bend, the back heel comes up. Now you can stick your fingers into the core here, and as you draw your back knee forwards, pull in your core and lift the knee towards the chest. Step back and reset. So let's have a few of those. Really feel these core muscles pulling in like you're trying to put on really tight jeans. Front knee has to bend to take the weight into the front leg to free up the back. Core muscles pulled in, you lift the knee as high as it will go. Adjusting back. So this is building on something we did 1 or 2 classes ago, thinking about functional patterns, how we use the legs, but if we use them in slow motion the way we would when we're walking, we have time to recruit more muscles and work really mindfully in this movement. I know you might start to feel this in the quads, but we'll get a stretch out later. Work on those core muscles. If this is easy enough for balance for you, feel the core muscles pull in and just gently pulse up with that knee. Squeezing the core ribs together. Well done. And let's switch legs. You might want to shake out that leg we've been working. Okay, parallel. Legs, toes pointing forwards, hips in that tilted position for the pelvis. Roll the shoulders back and the same thing. So body comes forwards, hinging from the hips, long from the base of the spine to the top of the head. Arms come forwards, reaching into the fingers, gathering the upper body on the way. A little bit of a back bend, still tilting the pelvis. Still look for some release in the top of the hips here, and then shoulders back and down. Carry on your pace, but try to make it a continuous movement. Mobilizing the spine, yet working on the stabilizing muscles of the core, the postural muscles as we open the chest wide, resetting at the top. And a nice deep breath in and out of the nose. We're of course getting a hamstring stretch on that front leg. Feel the shoulder blades come back and down here. Let's make this next one our last one. And then let's waken up the core again. So fingers into the fleshy bit here. Bend your front knee. And we'll draw, your toes can trail on the floor. And maybe the toes lift. But it's the action of trying to take the weight into the standing leg. Just pulling in the core, which will strengthen. Nice deep breath in with the pelvis tilted, shoulders back and down, core stays strong. Keep going. So remember, if you feel you've got your balance, keep this all pulled in, and we can pulse up here, but without rounding the shoulders, keeping that pull in. Try to think about pelvic floor, squeezing and lifting. Last two on this side, if you're going through the motion of lifting the knee and stepping back. Want to be aware of the knee not dropping in too far, so we'll keep that nice alignment so that we're spreading the weight for the knee and the ankle. Amazing. And shake out the legs. So that was all preparation for an eagle. So let's have the weight back into this right leg. I'm mirroring you. And we can sweep your left leg all the way up and over. Maybe we sit down, hooking. Maybe we just go for this circling movement of the hip first. So find where you can take a continuous movement with control. A little bit of wobbling is fine. But look what a nice movement we're getting in the hip. If we get to wrap the legs and take a deeper bend, as we've been preparing for, that's great. Keep going. So we're loading on these quadriceps, working on your balance, trying to get the hips level, chest wide open. If you feel you've got this, let's add on the arm. So as your left leg swoops over, the right arm comes across. And for now, we're just going to give ourselves a hug, wrap, and lift the elbows. So kind of halfway point. You need to shake out that standing leg. Do give yourself a break. Otherwise, just powering through for one more. And then we'll switch legs. Here, if you want to fully wrap the arms, fine. But it's the action of lifting the elbows where we're getting that work into the shoulder blades. Brilliant. Shake out. And we're on to the other side. So weight into the left leg. And let's just start to get that movement into the hip. Swinging without force. Arms will naturally come in that oppositional movement. Maybe adding on a hook. Okay, so if we're ready with the arms, the opposite arms coming down, right arm on top, either a hug and a lift of the elbows or coming into that eagle position. Or carrying on. So a hook and a circling. Amazing. Give me one more. So the toes can be on the floor here. Maybe we double wrap with the toes. Maybe we just give ourselves a hug, separate the shoulder blades, or get a stronger bind. Amazing. And let's shake out the leg. So we're going to come into the sun salutations based on series 2. We're not going to rest on the knees, so I don't need a mat. Make sure you've got padding for your knees if you're going to take a knee plank. So coming to the front of your space, feet hip distance apart. Remember that drawing movement with the arms. We're doing that now. So the knees bend, make sure you can still see your toes. Knees trap over the toes, and we'll swoop the arms up. Keep the body low, hips low, and lift the arms. So toes could almost lift. There's so much weight into the heels. Tailbone tucked, closing the ribs, navel lifts, sinking down. You're nearly going to sit in a chair. Now, for a count of 10, the fingers are slowly going to find their way to the floor. 10, 9, get low, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and straight to the legs. Bow the head. Your regular Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathing deeply. Take a halfway lift. So this is a lengthening of the spine into the neck. The gaze stays down. Now we're going to step the right foot back as far as it will go. Try to get the fingernails, toenails in a line. Shoulders back and down. Try and squeeze the inner thighs towards each other so we're strong through the legs. We're stepping back to a plank, long line. Knees can come to the floor, but let's keep that line where the back of the head is in line with the back of the pelvis. To come down to the floor, let's keep the elbows close into the waist. And it's your choice whether we take a Sphinx, a Cobra, or a full up dog. So you choose. We're tucking the toes, and it's here we're going to get ready for a warrior one. But pause in your down dog shape to lengthen in all directions. So lift the toes, reach the toes forwards, stretch the backs of the legs, stretch the spine, imprint the hands, strong through the hands. See if you can briefly really close the front ribs, tummy bottom backs of the spine, pelvic floor lifts to further lengthen the spine. We're crouching low, right foot's coming to the front, left heel lowering at an angle, warrior one. Lift the upper body, hip square to the front, and lift the arms. Take a deep breath in, the front knee is over the ankle, the back leg is straight. We're almost tucking the bottom under to get a hip flex stretch on the front of that left leg. We're tapping down and then taking a peaceful warrior. Fingers come to the floor, left arm back strokes all the way to the back leg. The right arm cradling the head, elbow to the ceiling. Open the chest wide, peaceful warrior. Tempting to let that front knee cave in. Try to keep an inner thigh stretch on the front leg. Chest open wide. Grip the floor with the feet. We've finished this round. Cartwheel the hands down to the floor, the back heel lifts, and step to the front. Chair. So swoop those arms up, and we're lifting slowly for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Float the arms down. We've got the same on the left side. When you're ready, feet hip distance apart, swoop the arms forward, bend the knees, keep a view of the toes, so we're sitting back in the heels, strong in the glutes, the quads, shoulders back and down, trying to think where roughly the back of the head and the back of the pelvis would be in the same line. Arms in front, and we're lowering towards a power squat, a power chair. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands to the floor, straighten the legs. Here you can shake out the head, maybe bend one knee, sinking into one hip, and then the other. Ready for your halfway lift. Legs straight. You can press the fingers into the floor and draw the chest forward, or fingers into the shins, but shoulders down, long line, tailbone to crown. Fingers to the floor, stepping the left foot far back, that runner lunge position. Shoulders back and down, yummy stretch for the front of that left leg, and a plank position. High plank or knees down. But keep the shoulders down, away from the ears. Chaturanga, forward onto the toes and lower into the belly, otherwise a knee plank. See if you can keep that long line from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. Your choice of spine extension, baby cobra, full up dog, and take a down dog. Well done. Hips rise. You can pedal it through from one foot to the other. So as one knee bends and the heel lifts, the other heel gets closer to the floor. And switch. We're ready to step the left foot forward. So lift the heels high, bend the knees looking at the hands, and step your left foot to the front. The back heel lowers to the floor. We've got pretty much a 45-degree angle here in the back heel. Hips square to the front knee over the ankle, lift the arms. So grip the floor. Try to turn the right side of the waist to the front to keep everything square. Slight tailbone tuck. Arms open wide, wide smile across the collarbone. Deep breath, stretching into the fingertips. And we tap down, ready for peaceful warrior. Tap the fingers down, leading with the right arm, a back stroke, forwards, up and down the back leg. Follow through with the left arm, hand tucking behind the head. So lots of checkpoints here. Feet are gripping the floor, front knee over the ankle. This lifted elbow up to the ceiling, so working into the shoulder. Not pressing into the back hand, just feeling length and openness in the shoulder. Avoiding rolling the front knee forwards. Nice breath here, maybe a deeper lunge, and then cartwheel the hands down. You've done it. So as the hands come to the floor, the back heel lifts, step to the front, and we have our last Uttanasana. Keep sight of the toes, sit back low, lift through the arms for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands into prayer and return to heart center. Lower the arms, close the eyes, and just take a moment to let the body settle. Wonderful. We're coming down to the mat. Sure, that's a welcome instruction. I'm going to find the mat, and we're right away going to go on to work on our sides. Let's lie on our left hand side. Hold the head in the hand or lie down. Legs straight. Now your top leg floated so that it's hip height and straight. Pelvic tilt, neutral spine, neutral position for the hips. Now we're going to take your top knee forwards, still floating, hip height, and then lift as if we're taking a tree, externally rotating the hip. Shoulders down, jaw relaxed. Knee comes forwards, and we return. Continuous movement. Feel you lengthening both legs. Feel a little bit of a tilt in the tailbone for neutral spine. See if you can practice getting that neutral spine without gripping the glutes. Having said that, we're all different. If you've been told that your glutes aren't firing up, then use this opportunity to squeeze your bottom cheeks, and that helps you to come to that neutral spine position. Nice deep breaths in and out of the nose, hip mobility, working through the external rotation of the hip, but working at slow enough that you can really control that movement. One more, and then we're going to take a movement to exercise the obliques. So to do that, we'll come up, knees bent in front of you. Keep your shoulder down, so if anything, you can bend the elbow. Hold the head. Now as I lift the top leg, it's the ankle that's lifting as well. So it's a small movement. You'll feel this into the side of the waist and lower. So we squeeze and lift up, work the side of the body and lower. So you'll see if we leave the ankle behind, we're externally rotating. We've already worked that one in the weights, the strain, the work comes out of the oblique muscle. So keep into the side of the body So it's less of a lift in the leg, but you can feel it absolutely on the side of the body. So shoulders down. Okay, the next one, we'll hold up and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. So let's take that passe, that hip opener on the other side. So setting up, holding the head, or lying the head down, legs straight. So a plumb line here, but on our side. Middle of the shoulder, middle of the hip, knee, ankle, all in a perfect straight line. Knee, hip, hip height. Take the knee forwards. Open as if you're going to take a tree. Return and glide. So continuous movement, keeping the legs long in that extended position. Inner thigh working here, and try to feel like you're working against some resistance. You can even use your own hand to add on some resistance to help strengthen the inner thigh. Let's make sure we're not gripping the jaw. So now on this side, because we're very clear what we're doing, we can start to think more about the core. So if we can keep the ribs together, tummy button back to the spine, but then adding on that pelvic floor, contraction and lift. Feel like you're tucking the navel right under the ribs, but without gripping, without clenching the teeth, jaw nice and soft. Give me one more here, and then we'll move on to the obliques. So make sure we're nice and soft in the shoulders. All right, so we bend the knees so they're in front of the body. We'll lift, and you can just have a trial lift and make sure we've got the hips stacked. If the hip drops back, we're again taking the work out of the obliques. Hips stacked, hold the head. And we reach and lift, elbow towards the shin and lower. Try to keep the neck long. We squeeze, lift, and lower. Nice easy breath in and out of the nose. Yes, we're working hard into the obliques, but you know that most of the hard work has been done. Last little home stretch here. No pun intended. And squeeze. And then let's have a little pulse for 10, just to really work into those obliques. Let that foot hang, so no tension in the ankle. And squeeze for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Let's take a seated twist. So the leg we've just worked, place on the outside of the knee, the other leg straight. Hook your elbow around, draw the chest into the thigh, and swivel around. Look over your shoulder, your backhand for support. And get a yummy stretch in your hip. Try to lengthen. So if we press down through the sit bones, the sit bones pressing into the floor, we can get a better sense of that center of gravity and where we get that vertical stacking of the upper skeleton. Nice breath, rocking side to side if it helps you to relax the muscles, and then switching sides. If you're mirroring me, that right foot's the outside of the left knee, turn, hook, and take a twist. Chest wide open. Try to open that back shoulder, belly, and the thigh coming together. Then feel that pressure down through the sit bones and lift up through the spine, right up. Try to feel where that center of gravity is, right to the space between the ears, which is essentially where the cervical spine ends. Squeezing the knee in, chest and thigh. And then we're coming onto our bellies. I know I said the hard work was over. We'll take a few spider tip Cobra press ups. So on your belly, fingers tips to the floor, roughly in line with the shoulders. If that's too tough, take them closer to the waist. Forehead on the floor, squeeze the shoulder blades together and down towards the waist. Point the toes and pelvis pressed into the mat, squeeze The shoulder blades together and lift and slowly glide back down. Try to work slowly, no jerking, just a continuous movement. Avoid sticking the chin out. So if I were to put like a meter rule behind the pelvis and the head, we've got pretty much that nice line of the neck. Now that we've got that movement, that squeeze between the shoulder blades and the drawing down of the shoulder blades towards the waist, let's see if the upper body muscles alone can do the work. Locust position, arms long by the side of the body, peel the shoulders away and take a lift. So the muscles that we've got the brain to think about between the shoulder blades, activate to lift the upper body, fingertips drawing down to the heels. Twice more, you're doing well, lift. Press the pelvic bone, the pubic bone into the floor. And last one, and then we're coming on to our bottoms. You can take a gentle child pose here and slowly make your way up, and then join me with your legs out in front of you. It's the 100. So roll the shoulders back and down. We can take this position. It's all strengthening for the upper back, and every time we pulse, we'll be using the core muscles. More work, let's take the legs up, peel head, neck and shoulders up, whichever you're comfortable with. Set up and we're ready for 100 pats. We'll pat down for 5, palms up for 5, ready? Shoulders relaxed, jaw relaxed. And let's go, pat down, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 50, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold behind the knees, draw the knees into the chest, have a little rock on the spine. Keep the right knee into the chest, extend the left leg. If you're bending the knee of the straight leg here, maybe come back to this stretch again, when you can rest in it for a little bit longer. Another modification which works really well is placing a block just under the sacrum onto the bottom, coming into this half Uttanasana position. It's great for the psoas. When you're ready, switching legs, left knee into the chest, right leg extends. Try to feel length in the front of the right leg. And as you breathe in, feel as though you're ironing out the crease at the top of the legs, feeling length. Slowly, both knees into the chest, soles of the feet together, holding the ankles, and place the ankles down. Here, just gently rocking, the knees tap down side to side. Let's nod the chin into the chest, arms open wide, palms facing upwards, and then resting the body, but just gently turn the head side to side, but you're rolling on the back of the head to one side, soft jaw, and then rolling back up and over to the other side. So at no point the head leaves the floor. It's a really supported mobilization of the neck. No need to force, just taking a few rounds of rolling is often enough just to release out any tension that may have gathered in the neck, shoulders while we're doing any core work. You stay there for a few more rounds. And then we're taking full body stretch, arms overhead, stretch through the legs. You can link the thumbs to give you more of a stretch, reaching through the legs, the toes. Here the ribs can flare, here the spine can arch. And then angel wing those arms down by the sides, knees into the chest, and rock yourself up to sitting. How are we doing? Crazy hair all around. And